destroyed Germany. I mean, they put in place the educational system in Germany post-World War II. And in the name of academic freedom, you'll have men like Mr. Rudolph in jail for writing a chemistry report for an actual attorney, writing a chemical report that doesn't toe the party line. But, you know, science is science. But it is a fascinating subject matter. And if you ever get a chance, you can buy Why Johnny Can't Think, America's Professor Priesthood by Robert W. Whitaker on Amazon. It's a fantastic book. It's very easy to read. A child could read it. It is caustic. It is the most it is so against modern academia. It is caustic stuff. And some of it's funny, some of it's humorous. You might find some of it you might even disagree with, but it is outright caustic. If you've ever got into it with a professor, or if you've ever had it out with a professor, or if you're a PhD candidate that got shown the door because they didn't like your thesis in the name of academic freedom, well, then you might want to read his book. You might enjoy certain parts of it. But he's someone that knows from experience. But this is the end of this Follow the White Rabbit. This is a particular update during the Egyptian disaster. During the Egyptian disaster, rolling disaster, it looks like a disaster to me. We'll have to see how it turns out. The quest for democracy. We'll have to see how that turns out, and we'll have to see how this Stuxnet worm in Iran turns out. They're talking about if they start up the reactors, the Russians are saying it could be another Chernobyl. You know, that no one still, the Israelis still haven't claimed the attack, and there's a reason for that. It's an act of war. One can only imagine what would happen if you unleashed a computer virus in an American nuclear installation, or a British nuclear installation, or a French nuclear installation. It would be an outright act of war. That's why they're not claiming it yet. Which is pretty intelligent to do. It could be certain violations of international law, so on and so forth. One can only imagine what it would be if it causes a huge disaster. But this is still an ongoing process as we pick up speed in the end game. That's what you're seeing. Everything's picking up speed, and there's a great deal of confusion, but there seems to be a theme, and that theme is Iran is the next stop for the fur to start flying. And I have a feeling this Egyptian scenario will not go the way that the elite want. Once you get their process, they got their machine in motion, their New World Order machine, and once you unleash that machine and expect A, B, C, D, and E to happen, well, you might end up with H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. That's just common sense. Once you unleash a machine like democracy in Egypt, you don't know what's going to happen. It comes down to organization, and right now the most organized party is a Muslim Brotherhood. But this type of thing, in my opinion, won't end up going well as we go into the war with Iran. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see, and we'll keep this conversation alive. We are now at the end of another episode of Horus the Avenger's Follow the White Rabbit. And this podcast is, of course, as always, dedicated to practical politics. But I'd like to take this time to thank you for tuning in to another episode. On behalf of the indigenous white rabbits of Europe, it is yours truly, Horus the Avenger. And I'll be back with you in another episode in the near future. Until then, thank you for listening.
So cold, why did you stay? Remember, I'll remember your face so